All right. Week 8 has come and gone. We were counting on Jesse's Niners. They could not get it done for the pride of the NFC West. But this upcoming week, we'll see who ends up getting it done within the division. We're going to turn the page from week 8 to week 9. And let's start with those San Francisco 49ers who were in action this past weekend. They will be back in action this upcoming weekend against the New York Giants. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. This is a bounce back opportunity for San Francisco. They're going up against a Giants team that just suffered a litany of injuries this past weekend, including their starting running back, Cam Scadaboo. So now you're looking at Jackson Dart. He's surrounded by basically nothing at this point. Malik Neighbors already out for the year. Scadaboo now gone. And it really feels like that loss to Denver was demoralizing, and they're still reeling. So maybe they're going to continue to reel going into this one. Maybe the Niners can capitalize. Jake, I'll start with you here. Niners 5-3, looking to get to 6-3 against the 2-6 Giants. Do they on Sunday, and why?
I think the 49ers are going to win this game. Yeah, I understand, that is a brutal loss against a Texans team that has the worst offensive line you'll ever see. But I think the 49ers are going to be okay. They're going to bounce back this week against the Giants. I think the Giants lost some of their heart when, maybe I'm overreacting, but when Cam Scadaboo went down, I feel like he was kind of the heart and soul of that Giants kind of, revitalized offense. And I think Tyrone Tracy is probably a better player, but I just think Cam Scadaboo meant so much to that offense. So we're going to see what ends up happening. They already lost Malik Neighbors, so they'll be down him. They did, get back Darius Slayton, who should have had a touchdown, but that's neither here nor there. I think the 49ers are going to win this game 24-14, a little ugly. I don't really feel like the 49ers have really been able to score a ton of points this year. It feels like, except for the Rams game. But yeah, I think it's going to be 24-14. I think the 49ers go into MetLife Stadium and win in those cursed field conditions.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody gets injured, because I feel like every time the 49ers go out to MetLife, somebody gets, I know Bosa got hurt on that field. So yeah.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, it feels like every team rather has a player who's somewhat been injured on that field at one point. Brandon, will they be able to do so this upcoming weekend against the Niners, or will the Niners get to 6-3 when the day's over?
No, I think the Niners are going to get to 6-3. I think that Jake and you just captured very well what's a little bit at the head of this. And I can attest to seeing the way a guy like Marshawn Lynch came to our team with that same kind of running style, and how that can not only ignite an offense, but it can get a defense playing a little bit harder too, in an odd kind of way. I don't have an explanation for it. It's just something you can kind of feel. And his loss, I think, is going to be huge when you pair it with the fact that Malik Neighbors is already down on that offense. I think you're going to see Mac be able to cut, or if it's Brock out there, whoever it is, they'll be able to probably cut into this defense pretty well with throwing the ball where they want, when they want. The key to this really comes down to two factors for the Niners for me. And that is, last week you had some issues with the edge rushers there, specifically Will Anderson really getting after it. This week it doesn't get kind of any easier with Burns and with Thibodeau. And then you've got Dexter down there on the inside. How well they deal with that, with the fact I expect them to be pretty pass happy because they just haven't run the ball particularly well. And then the combination factor, I think Jesse will attest to this, that sometimes the Niners in recent years have had issues with mobile quarterbacks, or specifically quarterbacks that are going to use their legs when dropping back to pass off improvisation. And that's something that we think we're going to see Jackson Dart do a lot of this upcoming game. All that being said, I think the Niners still take this 24-21.
2 for 2 on the Niners. Mike, are you making it a hat trick? San Francisco on the road at New York. Are they getting it done Sunday?
Yeah, I want to just chime in real quick on the Cam Scadaboo situation. He is as advertised, man. We had him here in ASU, and he was a spark plug, man. It's so fun to watch what he was doing in ASU, and the Cardinal fans wanted us to draft him. But this year, man, he looked really good. And it's really unfortunate. I liked what, Scadaboo as well as Jackson Dart has been doing for that organization, but it's too much, man. It's too much to overcome. I like Dart, and I think his career is going to be really good here in the NFL, but it's too early right now. The 49ers are trying to bounce back from what just happened versus the Texans, which they probably feel like that's a game that kind of got away from them. So I do think that they're going to win this game 31-17. I got the Niners winning this game.
3 for 3. Jesse, you're coming off of a loss here, maybe one that you weren't expecting. I know everybody here for the most part thought the Niners were going to win they're right back on the train. They think they dominate the Giants this upcoming weekend. Do you think the same here in week 9?
Yeah, I don't know that we dominate the Giants. I mean, one thing to pay attention to, and the 49ers just had this same exact thing happen where they're playing in the 10 a.m. Pacific time slot again. So you travel to Houston, travel all the way back to Santa Clara. Now you're going all the way back out to New York and you're playing in that early time slot. That's usually rough for a West Coast team, and they're doing it 2 weeks in a row. That's an awful lot of travel as well. So when I look at that, I think this game's going to be tight. I think the Giants, even though they're 2-6, yes, they may have had their hearts broken against Denver. They lost Cam Scatterboo. But you've also seen teams, especially young teams that don't know any better, they kind of use this as motivation. And I could see a situation like that as well. I think this is going to be close. I do think the 49ers ultimately get it done. Let's go 23-17 Niners.
Clean sweep for the Niners. All the fellas thinking that the 49ers are going to be 6-3 by week 9's end. Let's move to the late afternoon window. The LA Rams coming off the bye, looking to dominate a team that they should be set up to do so at home. The New Orleans Saints, who are going to be trotting out Tyler Shuck for his first ever NFL start on Sunday afternoon. Just hit me, by the way. Once again, another week where every time slot is filled. We got a 1, we got a 4, we got a Sunday nighter and a Monday nighter. Jake, your Rams, they're in the late afternoon window in this one. The Rams, 5-2, taking on the Saints, 1-7. We saw Spencer Rattler this past weekend get benched. Tyler Shuck comes in. He's going to be the starter this upcoming weekend, and he's got to go against Sean McVay and one of the better teams in the NFL. Not an easy gig to draw in your first start. Mike, I'll come back to you. Start with you. Could be a rough one for the Saints. Do you think it's going to be a rough one for the Saints?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a very rough one for the Saints. What a way to throw your young rookie quarterback. But I mean, this is what they got. I mean, this is what they got going for them. So, I mean, they're going to try to see what they have with the quarterbacks. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I've mentioned this before. The NFC West is a very, very good division. And we're going to see it here on display. I think the Rams are coming in here and they're going to be coming in very hot and they're going to win this game. It's not going to be a close one. I think it's actually going to be kind of unfortunate for the Saints. I'm going to say 27 to like 6 or something like that. That's going to be like 2 field goals they're going to get. So yeah, I got the Rams winning this game.
6 points for Shuck in his debut. Brandon, you thinking something similar here, or could the Saints shock the world on Sunday afternoon?
No, Jake's going to try to sell us on the fact the Rams don't blow anybody out, but that's exactly what they're going to do in this upcoming game, and they're just going to stomp the Saints 7 ways from Sunday. This is a Saints team that's already at the best of times this season when they're trying to fight, has failed pretty miserably. You got to feel like with the trade rumors that are swirling around the team right now, and then you're throwing out Tyler Shuck, who's supposed to be this game-ready quarterback coming out of college because he's like 28 years old, but he's not game-ready. This guy's going to see more see more specters out there than freaking ghost hunters. It's going to be crazy. I think that you're going to see like 3 interceptions, and they probably end up going back to Rattler at some point in this game. So 34-10, easy money, easy day of work for the Rams. That defense absolutely just makes that kid go into his little shell by the end of the game.
I was kind of shocked to see Rattler benched, and it wasn't like he was playing all that bad in that game, but they make the move, and this is going to be Tyler Shuck's team, at least for this upcoming week. Brandon low-key threw in there maybe another benching for the Saints this upcoming week. So craziness in that quarterback room.
That's the NFL, by the way.
I know. It totally is.
I hated that Rattler got benched, but it literally goes to show you. It's like if you're not drafted on day 2 or you're not a first-round pick, you have literally no room for error.
Yep.
I hate it.
And
it is indeed, and the way it works is this shouldn't work very well, Jesse, for the Saints. I mean, let's be honest here. Do you think there's a possibility New Orleans finds a way to win on the road here against the Rams?
Well, first of all, Spencer Rattler is probably going to be the next reclamation project for Sean McVay here in another year anyway, so maybe that's going to happen. But listen, no, I don't think that the Saints have any chance. I'll keep it simple, 31-13 Rams.
Are you ready to add Spencer Rattler to the ever-growing list on the quarterback hierarchy in the NFC West? Because I'm so ready. I am absolutely
Sign
ready.
me the hell up, man. I'm a big Spencer Rattler fan. I was defending him earlier, but I did call that he would struggle against Seattle when he went to Seattle. But he played 5 out of how many games have they've had like 8, right?
Yep.
So he's had 5 decent games. He had the bad game against Seattle, and then the bad game recently, and now they just benched him. And I don't know. I didn't like that because I thought that they were one of those teams. They're kind of like a sneaky bad team. If you are not on your A game, you still can beat them. But I mean, if you have a really bad game, you can't just beat them because they're bad. They stick around, and that was the thing. They didn't do it against Tampa, but they did against Arizona. They did against the 49ers. This team just kind of sticks in the rearview mirror and doesn't really go away until the end. And then now, as of late, they have. And I thought Shuck made some good throws, when he came in. I'm not going to, sit here and say that he's a joke or anything. But no, I think the Rams are going to win this game 34-13.
I don't know if everybody would have predicted that going into week 9, it's flipped right now. Seriously, you have the Seattle Seahawks far more in contention for a trip to the championship weekend than that of the Washington Commanders, who are really taking a step back, where they've lost 3 straight. They've lost 4 of 5. Jaden Daniels banged up. This whole roster is really banged up, and they are struggling on both sides of the football. They got waxed by the Kansas City Chiefs. In the second half in particular, it was 7-7 at half. They just couldn't move the ball, and then finally Kansas City turned it on. They dominated. Meanwhile, you got Seattle coming off of a bye. So even though it's on the road, it's against a team that's reeling. In Seattle, they're healthy coming off the bye, well-rested, ready to rock. Jesse, I'll start with you. Seattle looking to maintain their spot at the top of the division and go 6-2. Will they do so on Sunday Night Football?
Well, if you got Sunday Night Football, then we should probably hear the theme song. Listen, Washington is in shambles right now. I don't think they have any chance in this game. I just think Seattle's a really, really good football team. That defense is absolutely humming. They are coming off of a bye week, and Washington overperformed last year. I mean, that's just what it was, bottom line. They've had a lot of injuries. I think their defense is really struggling this year. I don't see them stopping Sam Darnold and company. I mean, he's the best quarterback in the league, I hear. So listen, I will take the Seattle Seahawks to win this one 27-20.
27-20, says Jesse. Got the Hawks winning it on Sunday Night Football. Mike, what do you think in this one? Can the Commanders find a way to get things going? It's going to be tough against a defense like this, and especially with the offense playing the way Seattle has been recently.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough game to pick because, I like the story of the Commanders. I really did. I like that Jaden Daniels came in and kind of like took the world by storm. And then, injury play kind of happened this year. And then just they haven't looked very good offensively. I'm not sure if that's a Cliff Kingsbury effect or anything like that. But I don't know, man. I look at this like the defenses on both sides. And I feel like the Seattle Seahawks have such a better defense. And on top of that, they can score points. And I look at the Commanders over there and I don't know. I don't have a way to pick the Commanders here, although Jaden Daniels most likely is trying to come back. And then it's not just Jaden too. You also had Terry McLaurin as well, like dealing with some injuries as well. Deebo Samuel had some boneheaded things ended up happening in this last game. Ball completely bounced out of his hand and into the defender's hand. It's a mess. I don't think the Commanders are going to be able to find a way to win this game. If I'm going to be real, I'm going to say the Seahawks win this game, but I'm not going to say it's a blowout. It's going to be a respectable game. I would say 21-14 Seahawks.
Respectability. That's what Mike's valuing on Sunday night. And he's also got a Brandon and Seahawk W coming to Seattle. They're 6th to be 6-2, really starting to make a push into the second half of the season. Jake, are you in agreement with the fellas on the left here? Do you think Seattle gets it done against Washington on Sunday night?
I do. And I wanted to ask you guys, does anybody know when the flex scheduling comes into play? Because why is this not getting flex scheduled?
They're not taking Sammy Darnold out of prime time. That we have.
I mean, that's fair.
Right.
That's fair. Seattle's fun to watch, but
the eyeballs on that one.
How many freaking primetime games am I gonna have to watch the Commanders getting butt whooped?
Yeah.
I mean, it's every freaking week.
I know.
Are we kidding ourselves? All right. 20-7. Give me Seattle.
Wow.
I'd probably go more if it was in Seattle, but yeah, I'm gonna go 20-7. Right now, Commanders were a good story last year, and I was on top of them as my sleeper team. But this year, I felt like they were the prime candidate to take a step back, and the sophomore slump that I just felt like was inevitable. And really, it's been the offensive line injuries. And if you want to look at anything, obviously, everyone would tell you about Daniels and Terry McLaurin, and that's fair. But I think losing Dorrance Armstrong Jr. keeps them completely out of the playoff race. I don't think they can come back from this. They don't have a closer coming off the edge. So I don't think this is one of those things where they're going to get themselves out of this hole. I think they're done. And I think we see that this Sunday.
Speaking of the flex scheduling, it's already allowed to happen. Apparently, it started in week 5, and then after week 10, it can happen any weekend. But the rights only allow you 2 flexes starting from week 5. So, to my knowledge, there hasn't been one used yet. I'm guessing we're going to start to be seeing more and more of this be used in the coming weeks here. But Brandon, for now, are we going to see your Seattle Seahawks get it done over the Washington Commanders?
I really do think we are. Well, we're returning everybody back onto this team in full. You have a really good potential of having every one of the offensive and defensive starters that you had hoped to have coming into this season back for this football game. And that's with the defense already humming the past couple of weeks. The offensive line's got issues there with Washington. Everybody's blitzing him at a high rate. I think we're going to dial that back up again. We don't know if we're getting Jaden Daniels even at this point, or how much close to 100% he's going to be if he does play. As we're hearing reports, they may be careful of him with a little bit of the shadow of a Robert Griffin kind of injury happening in years past to a grade A kind of quarterback like this that they weren't careful with. We'll see how that comes in on this game to maybe factor in. I think Jake brings up a great point about Doris Armstrong being out. That was a real big part of their pass rush coming off the edge. And they don't have another answer there outside of that. They've got some decent guys inside, but outside they don't. I just don't think they're going to be able to mount the kind of pass rush. And I think defensively, we're going to get after, whether it's a lame Jaden Daniels or a Marcus Mariota, who looked last week, like you can definitely kind of put him in a box a little bit in the way you play him. So I think the Seahawks run away with this one. 24-13, not quite a blowout, but a comfortable win at that.
All right, so we have basically, I think we have clean sweeps across the board all the way up until this point. So we're spread out in week 9 in all of the different slots, but we are not expecting anything crazy. Maybe we are on Monday night. Let's go to Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. I sing that one because it's a lot easier to do. Thank you.
Let's go.
There it is. Monday Night Football. Speaking of teams that are in primetime every single week, here come the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football, taking on Mike's Arizona Cardinals, who are coming off the bye, taking on a Dallas Cowboys team that just got worked by the Denver Broncos. They lost that game 44-24. Dallas's defense might be the worst in the NFL, might be the worst I've seen in some time, really. Their offense, however, really good. They couldn't get it going, however, against a really stout defense in Denver. Here come the Arizona Cardinals. They're coming off the bye, 2-5. If they can win this on Monday night, maybe they can start to make things interesting. The question is, will they be able to get it done in Jerry World under the lights on Monday Night Football? Jesse, I'll start with you. Arizona, Dallas, who takes it and why?
Well, I think that it's strength versus strength. You got a good, high-powered Dallas offense versus, I think, a good Arizona defense, especially. They should be much healthier than what they've been. We talked about all the players coming back, but that secondary is getting healthy as well. So ultimately, I think that's strength versus strength. So then you go to the weakness of these two teams, Dallas's defense versus the Cardinals offense. I don't know why, but I'm going to bet on the Cardinals offense. I just think Dallas's defense is absolutely atrocious. They're not going to be able to do anything. And ultimately, I think that the Cardinals win a bit of a shootout here. I think this one's going to be a fun game. Give me the Cardinals 31-27.
Ooh, a shootout in Dallas on Monday night. Jesse's got the Cardinals bouncing back off the bye here. How about you, Jake? I'm looking at this one and I'm thinking it has to be what Jesse's thinking, but could it potentially be something else? Because Dallas at times looks like they can beat anybody, but then you watch them on Sunday and they just look terrible. The thing is, Arizona, they look like they could beat anybody in the league up until this point. So do they get it done against Dallas on Monday night?
Yeah, and every game for Arizona has pretty much been close. Dallas is undefeated at home. Their only non-win was a tie, and it was 40-40. Oh, it's the Emmitt Smith Bowl here. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals pulled this out. I mean, Mike was just saying how Kyler Murray has success in Jerry World. I still don't love this pick, but I'm gonna go 33-30 Cowboys. I actually don't mind these games on Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, because I feel like this will be high scoring. The problem, when I was saying about the Commanders earlier, I just don't think they're going to score many points. Cardinals, Cowboys, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. So,
no, it's a good point you make. The Commanders are just a brutal watch right now, but these two offenses, they're fun to watch. And from what we can hear so far, we're thinking it's going to be that type of game on Monday night. Unfortunately, the NFC West streak of picking the NFC West teams has come to an end. Jake's taking the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon, Are you going to get back on the West train here, or are you going with the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night?
Woo woo! We're going West, baby, all the way. And this is
here it comes.
Partly because of the fact that I see the Cardinals just playing every game so bloody close, and that they're right on the precipice at times of getting over the other side, and that's against good teams, quality teams. To do this now up against the Cowboys that I do not see as a quality team, and I think this offense is going to find headway. If I'm not mistaken, Kyler goes back to his college, high school roots, I believe, in the state of Texas. He's going to be hyped up for this thing. And they're going to be able to, I think, supply just enough pass rush to get Dak a little bit uncomfortable so he can't just sit back there and throw dots all day on them against that secondary. So I go 34-31, a high-scoring game. I kind of share a little bit of Jesse's outlook on this one, the way I see it rolling. But I think the Cardinals get this done this week.
You guys are speaking my language. It's already setting up to be like a 14-10 game based on the fact that we all think this is going to be high-flying. Mike, what do you think is going to happen? And do you think your Arizona Cardinals get back on track coming out of the bye here against Dallas?
I mean, they got no choice. They have to. They have to get back on track in order for them to save or salvage any part of the season that they might think that they have. Like I said before, I mean, the coaching staff is talking like we're a 4-3 team or a 5-2 team right now because they're in every single one of these games. I think it does come down to which defense makes the one stop or two stops, or whether it's a turnover or anything like that. I mean, I do believe the Arizona Cardinals defense, nudges a little bit better, and it is trending that Kyler Murray will be playing, but it's still up in the air per Jonathan Gannon. Now, the amount of points that the Cardinals are going to be scoring, I'm not going to say it's contingent on if Kyler or Jacoby plays, because like I said before, Kyler has had a lot of success in AT&T Stadium. I don't know what it is, and it might be because of the roots of what he's been doing, but yeah, he's 9-0 in Jerry World at AT&T Stadium, and then 2-0 against the Dallas Cowboys in his career. So I'm going to lean on positivity here. I know that's a little different from what I'm used to, but I'm going to say a shootout as well. I'm going to say 37. Yeah, weird number. 37-33. Cardinals win this game.
Now, speaking of sleepers, speaking of Thursday night football, like I said, Lamar Jackson should be back, fellas. I mean, last time we heard this, the NFL, they got in some hot water. And the Baltimore Ravens got in some hot water, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But in all likelihood, we will see Lamar Jackson against TD's Miami Dolphins in a massive bottom of the AFC showdown on Thursday Night Football. And over on Sleeper, I've crafted up a quick slip for you to root for, or, of course, create your own for Thursday Night Football. But mine contains Lamar Jackson with the free pick, more than a half yard. Derrick Henry to get in the end zone against one of the poorer rushing defenses in the NFL. And then Jalen Waddle to have more than 61.5 receiving yards. That's good for a 3x multiplier. If you want to tell that one or create your own, link in the description below. Click that and sign up for Sleeper. Once you do, you will get a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit using the promo code RTS. And before you even make your first deposit, you'll be able to check out Sleeper completely free. You click it, you download it, you create an account, boom. You have a free $20 to use on Thursday Night Football or any other sport. I mean, last night would have been perfect. It was the sports equinox last night, but still plenty of opportunities down the pipeline, including Week 9, NBA, NHL. You can do it all on Sleeper. Link in the description below. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.